And welcome to another edition of Quoth the Raven, Louis Bright Raven. I'm your host, Louis Bright Raven, 28-year veteran of comic, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and role-playing games as a writer, illustrator, and editor. Today is day 27 of the Booktober event where I review comics and books. So let's go ahead and get straight to some information. For those who don't know, this Saturday coming up, Halloween Day, from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., I will be appearing at Scratch and Spin Records and Collectibles store on 12th Street in West Columbia, across the street from the Zesto's restaurant. I will have sketch cards like these. These will be some of the cards I will actually have available to give away free. These are zombies. I will have lots of jack-o'-lanterns as well. Here are some of the jack-o'-lanterns. I will also have other cards as well. So that'll be from 12 to 2 p.m. on Saturday afternoon in West Columbia. I will keep bringing that up and putting more information up on in future episodes. Also, we will be talking about some crowdfunding during this episode, which I haven't been doing, but I need to, because the crowdfunding campaign in question will end before the regular podcast for this week, so I have to go ahead and mention that one as well. So let's go ahead and get to our reviews. And we will start with Big Bang Comics number 21. Has a cover price of $2.95. The publisher is Image Comics. The writers are Jerry Acerno, Gary Carlson, Daniel Reed, and Carl Gafford. The artists are Jerry Acerno, Ed Quimby, Daniel Reed, and Carl Gafford, with a cover by Jerry Acerno. The genre is superhero, and it was originally released in June and July of '98. This book features 4 different stories. The Shadow Lady story, which is what's featured on the cover, is by Jerry Acerno, as our heroine trying to solve the mysterious murders being committed at a radio station where their actors for a radio play are being killed off, while her friend moves into her apartment and makes keeping her identity secret a bit difficult. In the second story, Massacred by Gary Carlson and Ed Quimby, has another heroine taking on modern-day thieves dressed as pirates. And I thought this was a bit funny to find Quimby in this, because he's the artist who did that cover for Comic Effect number 22 that I reviewed yesterday. And it was just by sheer coincidence that here he is telling a complete story. I was like, whoa, okay, that's odd. I didn't realize he was in this. The third story is The Dimensioneer, The Better Half, by Daniel Reed. It's a completely nonsensical story in terms of the villain's origins, as you will soon see when I show the artwork. As The Better Half is a mystical composite of a woman and a man into one form, but it is a fun romp for what it is nonetheless. And lastly is Carl Gafford's Ladybug story, which really didn't do anything for me, but doesn't hurt the book either. Overall, I think Acerno, who was the editor behind this series, does a fine job of capturing the tone of the late Golden and early Silver Age era of superhero comics with his books. It's a worthy title and series to track down a collection of if you're a fan of that era of comics and want something akin to that without breaking the bank trying to get back issues of the so-called mainstream variety. I recommend it for ages 13 and up, and I give it 4 out of 5 stars. Let's take a look at some of the artwork. This is Jerry Acerno's work for the Shadow Lady story, Murder Murder by Microphone. The book is all in black and white, but it's very nice, very clean stuff. And again, one of the people that's basically there's a siren that kind of has a ability to have a back uh, signal in the sounds that are gonna kill people if they hear it. This is the masker artwork by Ed Quimby. She's again another female superhero and fighting different people in a kind of a goofy way. She first fights him off a little bit in her secret identity. They put her in a closet so that she can escape and transform into her superhero identity. And this is the Dimensioneer, work the better half. First page. And then this is the second page where it has the origins. A newlywed couple is here, and they're supposed to be very popular. They're both redheads, supposedly. And this vampiric demon person basically rips them in half, as you can see. How that exactly works, I don't know, but they do. He rips them both in half and then uses his undead he says vampiretic, it should be vampiric blood flow, and then rearrange the composition, and then when they wake up, they're mixed into one, fused into one person, and they decide to become a criminal over it. Our next book is Elemental Special #1. There's John Norris. Hello, John. How you doing? Sorry that your sign didn't show up sooner on my feed. But anyway, the Elemental Special #1 has a $1.75 cover price. Publishers Kamiko. I don't know if the story is credited to Jack Herman, but I don't know if he actually physically wrote it or just plotted it and Bill Willingham wrote the script, but we'll just give Jack the credit for the story. The penciler is Bill Willingham, the inker is Rich Rankin, and the colors are by Kurt Mausert. The genre is superhero, and it was released originally in March of 1986. Young Tommy, also known as Monolith, who's the Earth Elemental of the team, is having nightmares about the serial killings of children. The other members of the Elementals assume that this is his young mind having difficulty coping with the fact that their entire team is revived from the dead and imbued with powers. But the reality is his nightmares are him seeing the deaths and feeling the deaths of the victims in real time. Desperate to try and stop this from continuing, He breaks out on his own and tries to find a killer, only to find a very tragic villain in his own right. Can Tommy and the Elemental stop the killings, and if so, at what cost? This is a pretty serious story. It's a little bit dark, to say the least. And there's some other things in it that make it definitely a 16 and up, more of a mature readers type storyline. I don't know if that's regular of Elementals, because I never really got into Elementals before, but I definitely recommend it for 16 and up, and I give it a 4-star rating. This is some of the artwork. I think Willingham and Rankin do some nice, clean artwork here. Is typical in 86. The colors are a little bit flat, but there is some shell gradation, shade cell gradation in some of the coloring. So, I think that has more to do, like I said, with the way the printing was in the era and stuff like that. They take Tommy to see a shrink about his nightmares, and he puts him under hypnosis, and as soon as he transfers right into Monolith. And of course the doctor doesn't know he's Monolith, so it's like, oh. And he leaves the office because he knows that someone's about to be killed, and so they're trying to stop him because they think he's the monster, of course, because he's this big hulking earth elemental. And unfortunately, the guy gets away, and he finds the body of the girl. And he's out there again, and this time he's he's facing off against the person. I don't want to give away the twist ending, but he tries to protect the boy, and things don't turn out the way he thinks they're going to turn out, and a whole lot of other things are going on. But it's a really good story. It's just a little bit dark, and there's some scenes that I wouldn't have drawn the way they did. They weren't inappropriate, but it's like they weren't necessary either. So anyway, the last book for the day is a Writer's Block anthology. There's no price on it that I could find, so I guess it was a free book that was given out. I remember getting it at San Diego Con in '97. The publisher is the Writer's Block. The writers are Jack Nolan, Sean Behrens, Fernando dos Santos, Jareth Grealish, I hope I didn't slaughter his name, Sean Medlock, and Eric Semenis. The artists are Jack and Scott Purcell, Kari Andrews, W. Allen Montgomery, Ruben Cordero, Alan Montgomery a second time, and Tom Benham. The genre is various. It's more like a sampler comic to show a variety of projects to people. And again, this was released in '97. What it's about, like I said, it's basically a sampler book. Most of these stories are not very memorable works, and I really don't want to spend a whole lot of time reviewing each one. But there are 2 stories that really stood out that I've always wished had been picked up elsewhere, so we're going to take a look at those. The first story I was impressed with was The Gnat by Sean Behrens, and then young up-and-comer by the name of Kari Andrews. Andrews' work really made me take notice, and still makes me take notice. And it's certainly no surprise that he went on to have a very successful career in comics and animation. As far as the story concept is concerned, remember how Ant-Man in the Ant-Man movies from Marvel, the original Ant-Man, Hank Pym, was some kind of secret agent weapon for the U.S. government? Well, that's basically what this guy is. He can shrink and grow, and he's a trained agent. But when he finds out his handlers are doing some shady stuff, he goes rogue to try to help innocents. I was always very sad that this series never got picked up. So let's take a look at the artwork for that segment. And again, this is early Kari Andrews. I don't know if people are familiar with Kari's work. Sorry, just got somebody hitting me on chat room thing here out in Facebook land. It's not showing up in the chat on live stream. Okay. Anyway, but Kari would later become known for working on Iron Fist, Renato Jones, Incredible Hulk. He also became a film director, stuff like that. So he's done a lot of stuff. He also did a book in 2006, shortly after this, where he wrote and drew a 4-issue miniseries for Marvel, known as Spider-Man Reign, starring a retired Spider-Man. It was named. It was one of a very popular series at the time. So anyway, this is some of his art. They give him for all the stuff he's doing, they give him a blow-up doll joke, thing. He thought that was funny. He has an assignment in Belgrade that he's supposed to do some work in, but he doesn't like the person who's visiting his father, so when he shrinks underneath the table and sneaks in, and they basically want him to become a domestic cleaner, in other words, an assassin. And basically they're like, well, okay, we'll put a death sentence on him and everybody else that's involved who have superpowers that are agents. So he finds out what's on the disc and everything. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to sneak out, get his equipment, steal some stuff in his new line of work as a rogue agent. And he shrunk down. They found metal killing machines that are like shaped like hounds or dogs that are locked into his pheromonic scent. But he launches some smoke grenades out and then enlarges to full size and squashes the mini hounds underfoot and escapes. The second story is called Victoria Tech, and it was written by Eric Simonis and drawn by Tom Benham. And Benham's art is so classic. EC Comics, Wally Wood, and Al Williamson, Al Feldstein, pardon me, not Williamson, Feldstein. It's inspired by those type of art that it's still got its own look, but it's very inspired by that. It's very nice looking. The concept is, what if we had made the space age in the Victorian era? It's a very well done story that deserved much more time than just this little taste. Overall, the anthology is underwhelming, but these two stories, among others, are why I often find myself shaking my head at what content we're not seeing in the so-called mainstream comics market. Overall, I do recommend for ages 16 up. I gave it 2.5 stars. Basically because the 2.5 stars I'm giving it are for the two stories that are in there that I just reviewed. The rest of it is not worth mentioning. I'm sorry. But this is Victoria Tech, by Tom Benham. And as you can see, it has that classic 60s Wally Wood technology look and stuff like that in here. It's just really nice stuff. Very steampunkish. And those are our looks for today. Going to have another episode tomorrow around 1:30. And tomorrow's reviews will have 2 books, maybe more, but we definitely are going to have 2 books. The 2 books we're going to review for certain tomorrow are John Varley's novel Mammoth and the short story collection Superheroes, which is edited by John Varley and Ricia Mainhart and features stories by John Varley, Denny O'Neil, Roger Zelazny, Laurel K. Hamilton, Paul Cooperberg, and a variety of others. Very cool stuff. We might also have open box unveiling of some cool stuff. I'm supposed to be getting a package today in the mail, hopefully, of the Steve Rude art books that I did show a little bit of a preview of previously on the regular weekly show. But if I get them in the mail, we'll have a live open and look through those as well. Okay. So if you want to reach me, you can reach me on Facebook at lewis.brightraven, on deviantart.com/brightraven, at YouTube at Quoth the Raven, Lewis Brightraven. Gmail address to send me questions is quoththeravenlbr72@gmail.com. And if you can't reach me there, try Yahoo at lewisbrightraven@yahoo.com. The regular weekly podcast airs Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But we do, through the rest of October, a daily show. Another 3 episodes, I guess, the rest of the week. On Saturday, I will be a little bit late. For Halloween, I'll do it in the evening because I will be out at the comic shop or the record store during my normal time that I've been airing Booktobers. So we'll do it that way, okay? Oh, didn't show you the stuff that it's supposed to show you. There you go. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know why it didn't do things right, but okay. There we go. And with that, I'll bid you adieu. Have a good week. Have a good day. Someone reminded me. What about that Kickstarter I was going to mention? Thank you. I apologize. Let me reshare something else with you before we go. Trekker's Hunter's Moon. I forgot because I haven't been doing that with Booktober normally. Thank you for reminding me of that. So we will play back. And this has got 53 hours left to go, so a little bit more than 2 days. It's actually stopping about 2 hours before my regular podcast. That's why I had to run it. But let's go ahead and quickly run down.
Hi, I'm Ron Randall, and I'm thrilled to be here with this campaign to bring to life a brand new science fiction graphic novel featuring Mercy St. Clair, Trekker, Hunter's Moon. Mercy has had plenty of explosive, hard-hitting adventures before now, but Hunter's Moon takes everything to a new level. This is the most primal, savage, tooth and claw death match that Mercy has faced yet. Honestly, I don't think I've ever had more pure fun in creating any Trekker story than I've had with this one. And spoiler alert, this time there's a monster. As you can see, the work on this story is entirely done. Other than a few special extra content pages, these files are ready to go to the printer. If the campaign is successful, that will happen very quickly, just as it has with each of my previous campaigns. Now, this will be my 5th Trekker campaign, but if this is your first Trek with Mercy, don't worry. Each of these books is designed to be a great introduction to Mercy and her world, and each tells an entire self-contained adventure. When you put them all together, they just paint a deeper, richer portrait. Trekker is my passion project. I created this character and this world years ago, and we've shared a long and winding comics-making road ever since. It means the world to me that I have found the support I need here on Kickstarter to continue Mercy's journey. I cannot thank my wonderful backers enough, except by continuing to tell the best Trekker stories that I can. So thank you for checking out the campaign and the rewards, including a set of the complete Trekker library of all the books to date, Kickstarter exclusive prints and commissions, and even a chance to be drawn into the book yourself. Check it all out and then gear up. Let's go on a hunt.
Okay. As you can see, they're past the 22,500 goal. They're over double that. So there's lots of extra stretch goals that have been put in there. There's bookmarks, sticker sheets, exclusive prints, multiple enamel pins that are going to be available, all kinds of cool stuff. I got the regular $25 or more book with the PDF. I have received all the other Trekker books as well. I just haven't reviewed them yet because they're very long and trying to read like everything from like 86 to the present. I mean, it's the entire saga of Trekker that I got. I got that package a couple weeks ago, but I just haven't gotten around to really opening it. I was going to have Ron on the show, but like I said, I forgot to get him last week, and this campaign ends before this week. So unless there's an extension, which there might be, I'll talk to Ron later today and see if he can be on Thursday. But we'll see what's what. But anyway, back to this quick review. These are the 4 books I already have, and you can get them either separately or individually. And here's some of the nice, wonderful artwork by Ron Randall. There might be some things you may not like. Yes, Mercy is a lesbian. She has a female lover. Big deal. If it's not your thing, you don't have to get it. But other than that, I really don't think there's anything else that would be really a so-called turn-off. It doesn't bother me because I realize that there are, lesbians in the world. So, why deny that fact and why just say, oh, I'm not going to read about that, whatever. But yeah, you can get digital PDF for $10, $55 gets you PDF of all the stories, which is probably close to 800 pages of storyline, maybe more. $25 gets you the printed book with an exclusive print. $40 gets you a sketch in the book along with the print. Retailers, you can get multiple copies, 5 copies for $40 for your stores. You can get the hardcover, and again, the only one you really can't get is your name appears in the book you're branded. So the Trekker library is $125. That gets you all 5 books with this quick sketch in the newest book. He'll give you an hour personal consultation about your own comics work. He does commissions in black and white and color. The only one that's another one that's all gone is putting your face in the comic itself. They've done some add-ons. Like I said, you get all kinds of cool stuff. The stretch goals, a window cling. I don't know what that is exactly, but it's something to do with. I guess that would be something that you like a sticker for your window. This is the enamel pin of the fox and the Chibi Mercy pins. Bookmarks, watercolor print, stickers, poster. So there's all kinds of cool stuff. Okay. So be sure to check that out as well. So again, I apologize. I will try this again. Thanks for watching. We will see you tomorrow on the show with the new stuff.